Hello, SigmaWho here signing on, and welcome back to the UoM Minecraft server. I was not sure if I was going to do another episode on this. I even said that last time, and yet here we are. Now, first things first, this guy. Ever since that one wandering trader saved my butt with the cactus, I just can't bring myself to kill them, at least not on this server. For all I know, it could be the same guy. Anyway, but last episode, we did begin the construction of our prairie house, and I was really hesitant about the house and how it was coming out, and I didn't think it was gonna look all that great. But now that I've finished it for the most part, and that I've done all this terraforming to make the land less abrupt and definitely, not prairie-like, but definitely more close to what I had in mind, I'm loving it. This wheat field, I feel like this wheat field especially helps. It's a giant wheat field. It's very big, very broad, and it just makes the thing feel more like farmy, I guess, or prairie-y, or it fits the aesthetic, or what's the word, like people use, vibe. I talk like an old person, but I promise I'm not an alien. Okay, I'm a bit disconnected from what people consider regular communication. Anyway. Speaking of regular communication, I am really struggling to get to the main thing of what I wanted to say, which is, well, okay, that was a bit janky, but I wanted to show off kind of what I had done, because we did a lot of talking last time, and a lot of, conceptualizing and plans, and not a lot of building, so I wanted to show that, yes, I have done, in fact, some building, and I'm very happy with it. There are a few hiccups, like, for example, I could not get my hands on many end or nether-related products, so blaze rods, and in turn, anything related to do with Eyes of Ender and the End, I could not get because, no blaze. So no end rods, sadly. This was intended to be an end rod. But yeah, grandfather clock, sitting room, sit chat. Another mishap was I had some netherrack here originally. Yeah, I accidentally set my house on fire. Anyway, so these coral took about 4,000 blocks to get. I'm so happy I found those. Once again, end rods. Wish I had them, but I don't. Here's a nice little stovetop with a accompanying oven here. This is like that little hood thing that goes above wherever you have your stovetop. This is the sink. This is some more like functional stuff with actual smeltery, mechanic, stuffy thingamawatses. So basically, I put what I want to cook in here, and the thing works for me, which is great, because I have no idea how any of that actually functions. Now, this was supposed to be a shoe rack, but there seems to be an entity issue on the server, so I'm going to talk about that later. But yeah, I was planning to put, shoes and stuff here. And if we take a quick peek upstairs, I love this so much. Here's little TV setup. This is supposed to be a glass display cabinet. This was supposed to be bookshelves. All that. However, I'm woefully lacking in bookshelves. The attic is just, it's missing a few things, but basically I want to put in some pillars like that one, except down there, and I'm going to stick some cobwebs around. But that's pretty much finished as well. I'm very happy with that. Very happy with how this has turned out. See, this is why I needed all that green dye for the cyan and the green terracotta. And yeah, if we step in here, this is my office. Step into my office. Yeah, this is a little candle plate holder, so I sit here, and I've got a nice view out the window. And then last but not least, the bedroom. This guy watches me sleep. I hate hoglins, and I can sleep, and this guy can't, so it feels like a little triumph every time I sleep in this bed. And this guy is forced to watch, but he cannot kill me. He cannot sleep. He can't even blink. And his nostrils are uneven. But that's not all. We also have a downstairs area. If you recall, I had cactus, I had bamboo, I had a ton of chests. All of that has now been moved to the previous, what was like a cave area, which has become just a giant storage facility-ish thing. And yeah, so this is all the storage. If we go down here, you can see there's my bamboo. And if we come on this side, yeah, cactus, and back there's the cocoa beans. And yeah, my mine is still down there, my bees are still down there, so that's all remained, and it's just been sort of expanded to accommodate the new items that I wish for it to have. Now, besides our beautiful prairie house, which I'm loving, I am really liking it now that I finished all, the most of the terraforming and, gotten a lot of the land to be flatter. I love it. It's my first like diagonal-ish build, and I'm so happy with it now. I was so apprehensive at first, but now I'm just I'm trying to find a word to express my satisfaction, my happiness, my enjoyment with this, but I cannot. So I'm just gonna leave that hanging. But the other thing that's now on our prairie plateau, as it I've been calling it in my head, is this chicken. My sibling, one of them, logged on today and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna build a chicken facing your base," and I was like, "Why?" And well, you know how siblings are. So they logged out when a creeper showed up because they forgot to light the inside of the chicken, and they logged out. But the creeper did not stop exploding, basically, and so the chicken has unfortunately been he's missing a few feathers. He's looking a bit feather bare in the back. So the thing that we talked about besides my awesome house was getting some stuff sorted at spawn, and if you can see here, someone has built a bridge. I was so like confused when I saw this because I had actually put like a stone thing connecting that end to somewhere over there, and then I looked over and was like, "Yo, is that a pre-existing bridge?" So I went and I tore all that stone down and was like, well, why do I need to do that if someone's already done this amazing work? And I mean, just take a look at this. Like, the path was actually, I only discovered this path today. I didn't actually go across the bridge earlier, but I'm very excited because, like I said, I did discover the path earlier today, and I followed it, and it actually goes all the way to spawn, which is where we need to go anyway, because in spawn, there are a few things that I'd like to show you. Yeah, spawn is right down there, but before we get down there, there's actually a branch to this path that goes out here, and then this goes out to another one of the islands, and then it branches on the island because there's actually 2 people who live down there, and I had no clue. Now, down here is spawn. Unfortunately, though this awesome, beautiful bridge exists, thank you to whomever has done this, the actual in-spawn part here is still just my dreams of a direct path have yet to be recognized, so that is something I intend to rectify today. Before we do get over to the spawning platform, though, that entity issue that I mentioned vaguely and briefly and did not elaborate on is now going to be discussed. Last episode, I put 2 armor stand people here, welcoming the people to the 1.18 area. One was pointing, going, "Ooh, look, a player," and the other guy was standing here saying, "Welcome to 1.18. And both of them have now disappeared. Last episode, by the time I had finished, like between the time I had finished and oh boy, again! The video equivalent of photobombing, y'all. Is it the same dude? Come on, you know better. I'm just whack him till he's dead. Okay. Oh yeah, this also probably would have helped if I put my armor back on after the intro. Anyway, so one of the guys had already disappeared very quickly between me completing it and me going back to record my episode, and then yeah, the other guy has just disappeared entirely now. And the reason I bring that up is because that's why I'm very hesitant to do things, even in item frames, because if we go back up to my shop, we originally had an enchanted helmet here, and then we had a saddle there, and both of them disappeared, and I don't think someone would take, like, an enchanted cursive binding leather helmet. So, I'm fairly certain it was just the server eating entities. And, speaking of someone, people, oh my goodness, someone actually built a shop here. I was so excited when I saw this glowing, just amethyst, whatever this is. I don't even know what this is, but it's got books, and I bought books because I never actually finished my villager area thing. I have a lot of villagers, a lot of good villagers. I just firstly don't have the emeralds to do a lot of trading, and secondly, I don't have all of the I got stuck there. I don't have the emerald I don't have all the trades yet. Like for example, sharpness 5. I bought that because I just don't have that villager. So this bridge was not something I believe any of you have witnessed. That is because it is very recent in conception and application, and that is because a long time ago I say long time ago, but a long time ago in Minecraft years, days, whatever, I discovered a spider spawner down there, and I went ahead and I turned it into a workable farm for both items and EXP, and I decided to create this bridge connecting the Prairie Plateau to this place here, and there's another bridge back there connecting back to the other side of the landmass so that you can more easily get to the other side instead of having to go back and go all the way around. But yeah, this bridge is something I began and have not, as of yet, quite clearly finished. And that's another thing I would like to do, is to finish this bridge. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and show all y'all, this spider doohickey, because it's great, and I have been using it to repair my tools. So as you can see here, we get a good number of spider eyes. Sometimes we get string, and we get a decent number of heads as well. Where are the spider heads? Yeah, there we go. Spider's heads. So yeah, mostly eyes, because all of the wool has been, or string has been taken, converted into wool, and then used in various building projects, including that horrendous chicken y'all saw. And that's perfectly fine, because as you can see here, if you make items, I want you to take them. I do not want to have to be managing a ton of storage, because I am lazy. Down here, we also, this is another part of the spider spawner area, there is a half-finished enchanting setup, and I did, instead of, like, deciding to make this up all pretty and, like, you know, changing out the floor and stuff, I just decided to embrace the cave and just add some, like, you know, little pieces to make it feel more cave-like. The only thing I really could have done better was to add some, like, buttons miscellaneous to the floor, and also have added, like, you know, andesite and cobblestone. There's a lot I could have done better here. Like, the whole thing. Y'all, I went back and looked at my recording and my audio, and I'm constantly, what's the word, peeking the mic, I guess, for some reason. I have no idea what's up with that, and I do apologize. That is, usually that only happens when I'm, like, laughing directly into the microphone, so, apparently this is gonna sound real janky. Now, what are we gonna do? Well, firstly, why are we doing it? Well, because the server is going to end the season soon. I feel like that's something I probably should have mentioned at the beginning of the episode, but it kind of slipped my mind because I was so excited about my builds and, like, you know, especially the prairie house. I'm so satisfied with it. But, no, in all seriousness, 1.19 is just around the corner if, the Minecraft people are to be believed, and that means that whenever 1.19 rolls around, the season will end, and I may or may not be doing the next season depending on what type of, setup it's got. So that's kind of why I'm suddenly doing all these projects, and what prompted the episode. So with that kind of context now, this kind of gives some information as to why I've got this board here of things that I intend to finish and why I am so frantically trying to finish them. So the first thing that is on our checklist is fix the spawn pathway. Second thing is the final touches on the house. Third is the lanterns in the shop area. I probably should have put these two next to each other since they're so close, like in physical location, like back there. Okay, anyway. Third thing, bridge to Spider Isle. Alright, and lastly, I want to make a welcoming sign to, well, this place, because nobody knows it's called Prairie Plateau except me, because, well, I'm the one who named where I live, but there's no information to communicate that, so we need to make a welcome sign. Well, everything on that list has been completed, except for, the bridge to Spider Isle. Now, the reason for that is not anything specific. I just decided to work on everything else first, and also no difficulties whatsoever exiting the under the staircase area. I did lie. I decided to do some armor stand work and detailing, and that's because I can't help myself. I love armor stands, and they really do make a place just feel a bit more alive, you know? If they disappear, they disappear. I'll know that they were here at some point. And I do have a replay recording of my awesome house, so I can look back on it and then eventually cringe when I get better at building. And I also added some ominous bloodstains that were not in the original plan. So if you look around the house, there are some now ominous implications as to what types of things may have happened here. And yeah, I also completely redid the attic because the builder in me was cringing. But we do have a little ghost in the attic, and maybe he will tell you some stories about how he got here, or maybe he'll try to possess you and like throw you off of the bridge that we're gonna build. I don't know. But yeah, so some stuff has happened in this house, and maybe the bodies are buried in the wheat field. We also did this sign here, this board, I suppose, would be a more accurate descriptor of it, and I'm actually quite happy with how it came out. I love the glow squid ink. It makes things, like, readable, so that's very nice. I also decided to remove the torches and add some fence posts and lanterns there, and I do have to continue this up towards my house, and maybe to Alpha's chicken as well. Haven't decided quite what I'm going to do there as of yet. Ignore that block, that's from Lightmatica. And so back here, actually, for the bridge, I have been clearing out a lot of trees. And that's because I also want to create a path going from there, sort of down. Whoa, hello. I have not seen an ocelot around these parts before. Hello, hello. Okay. Welcome back, and there was not an attempt to get an ocelot head. Anyway, so this bridge that I had showcased earlier is in fact the bridge that I was referencing, because this is obviously I Spider Isle. I don't know why I put it off, quite honestly, but you know what it's a wonderful opportunity for? Well, I think it's time-lapse time. Look at that. It is complete. That is some thumbnail material right there, actually. I might as well just go ahead and... Zoop. Okay. So, now that I've gotten ahead, and... words are hard. So now that I've gone ahead and finished this, you may take a closer look at the materials I've used. I've used mostly the deep slate blocks, as well as some, like, you know, stone cobble variations, etc. But I've also used this, crimson mushroom product, because I almost burned my house down. I did burn down a good portion of my house. I do not want to burn down my bridge. This is an unburnable bridge. It will forever connect I Spider Isle to Prairie Plateau. Now, in case you did not notice, down here we've actually gone ahead and done some stuff to make it look nicer. It actually looks better from back here, so let's actually run across the bridge that we have just constructed, you know, put it to good use, and take a better look at the exterior, because there's not really an interior, to the spider farm area. Now over here, of course, it comes across the bridge. It's very bridgy, as bridges are. And here, like, we've just got, like, the staircases coming around and down, and I've also added this little section here simply because I fell into the water way too often, and it was such a pain to, like, try to get back up there, so I went ahead and just plopped that down. And I've also added some more vegetation around the sides of the mountain side I guess this is a mountain. I don't know. I think back there I'm not actually going to do a bridge because I don't think anyone actually goes back there often enough to warrant a bridge. So I'm probably going to go ahead and tear all that down because otherwise it is just unseemly. It's just... This is also new. In fact, much on this side is quite new. We have an actual path coming this way now, and I have, of course, terraformed very slightly. Because if we come up here, it's just like a straight path all the way up to... Here we are, the place where I dwell. And I've gone ahead and added these lampposts, and I was going to continue them down, but then I ran out of iron, so I have to go mining. I am thinking I'm going to go ahead and build a chicken coop around the chickens over there, and I have put grass everywhere. Yeah, I'm actually using mini HUD, and here we go. So I've been using this to kind of see what the light levels are, and putting torches in the corresponding, or the appropriate places, simply because if I'm walking along my path, I do not want to get mobbed by mobs. That is not what I would like to do. So I've gone ahead and put the torches or the lampposts up, depending on the light level. And down here, we can see this path here, not by me. The person who did the path back there has continued all the way down here. And there's actually a super cool glass tunnel that goes under the water between this island and the neighboring island. Whoops. You didn't see that. So between this island and the neighbor island, there's like this super cool tunnel now. So I might go ahead and show you all that later. But for now, I'd like to go ahead and say that, yep, we've got the path coming all the way up to our glorious, very, very awesome prairie house, which I am so happy about. So happy about. We are back at Alpha's Chicken. Why? Because I said so. Now, I've had that little chicken farm back there for a while, and it has produced an ungodly amount of eggs. So what I went ahead and did was I came up here and I stuck... and there they are. I just stuck a bunch of chickens inside of... What's this guy's name? Terraces, I think? So I stuck a bunch of chickens inside of Terrace, and if we actually come under here... Here we go. So then Alpha will think that the chickens are up there, but there's actually chickens under... to get another block now, but there's actually chickens under both of Terrace's feet. That's going to confuse the heck out of Alpha, and I'm just going to laugh. I mean, Alpha will figure out in like 2 seconds flat, but it'll be a funny pre-2 seconds of confusion, right? Ah, here we are. Okay, look. This is the tunnel I was talking about. Look at it. It just goes zoop-de-boop and swoop, and it's just so cool. I love the shape. It's like very... I don't know, it just looks so cool. Let's go ahead and run through the tunnel. I actually have not gone through the tunnel yet. I just kind of ran up to here and said, oh, this is cool, and then went back. So, for the first time, let's go through this awesome tunnel. Oh my goodness, I love this. I might have put carpet on the glowstone, but like, eh. Oh, this is great. This is great. And then it comes up here, and it goes around, and yeah, and then it goes all the way back to the spawn island if we... I think they're continuing here, or if they're just, I don't know if it's actually just going to come this way, because I thought someone lived farther back there, but I could be mistaken. Now, if you were to take a look at these paths, there is a very distinct, like, style to them. And that's kind of what I tried to keep in tune with when I did my paths, because if you look at my previous videos and how I've done paths in those, the style of path that you saw on the Prairie Plateau is very dissimilar to that, and that's because I was trying to keep some type of cohesiveness between this very awesome multi-island path and the paths that were going and running through the Prairie Plateau, because if it feels nicer, it feels more connected, and it's nicer, it's awesomer. Yeah, now, back here, there are actually 2 separate people. There is one person down there. As you can see, they've got a beacon. And then back here, there is someone else who apparently has floating trees. So, 2 types of players, I guess. With the bridge to Ice Spider Isle complete, we can finally check off the last thing on our checklist. Everything that we wanted to do is pretty much done. I don't think that there's anything else left outstanding that I would just feel terrible about if the season finished before I completed that item in question. So, now that our checklist is complete, I'd say that there's not much else left to do here. Thanks for tuning in. This has been SigmaWho, and I'm signing off. Ah! My sword!